See, and Battlestar Galactica.
It's in the fracking step.
Ah,
Yeah, frack this, frack that. That's
That's always great. So, chair of the university. Okay, so, Gex, what's the name of your dude you work for?
the guy I work for. Holy fuck! I should have prepared for this.
Who do you work for? Yeah.
Boner face dingle dongus. Hold on. So I'm just finding my documents.
That's his name now.
No, it's not. It's I've totally drawn a blank. Royland Tersall.
Got Larry Endeavour in the chat. Racken Endeavour, no. King Aldrich, no.
Royland Tersall.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
cool.
the name. Yeah, yeah.
He is an archaeologist, yeah.
Yeah. Who seeks out stuff.
So, it had occurred to me that I had stated a few times that this country wasn't that old and it was settled from the north a couple of 100 years ago.
Okay.
Rings a bell?
So, we will say that obviously there was intelligent native life here before. And I'm thinking there was probably old elfin ruins is a bit boring, but there was old ruins of other unknown
Civilizations.
unknown cultures from older days. So yeah, there's just that bit on that. Okay. So where did we leave it off last time? It was you guys I'd asked you all what you were doing back in Verdun.
Yes.
Verdun. Verdun?
Verdun.
Virgin. And can you remind me what that was? Because I haven't a clue.
I was pacing around my quarters waiting for a mission and casually aiming arrows at people out through the window without them seeing, and just a bit bored in my quarters.
Posing in front of the mirror.
Yes.
Drinking whiskey.
Exactly that.
Prepping to go upriver.
Yeah.
I believe we said I've recently returned from an excursion to look for something, maybe. I can't remember what we said last time. But yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Just pick a random area on the map. Where was your excursion?
Oh, this time. So we're in Verdun, right?
Yeah, and I'm going to base you guys close to the seat of power. So I'm going to say you all live in Verdun.
Yeah, sure.
Even if you're from elsewhere. You may have properties elsewhere or family elsewhere, but
let's say I've been up by Snake River.
Okay.
Looking for goals in them metals.
And where is it that Larry lives in Verdun? What is his accommodation?
Let me see. I wouldn't live with my master. I would want my own privacy. So I'd probably just stay in an inn, honestly. Have a private room, maybe.
All right.
Or a boarding house.
He's living on the party money for his archaeological excursions.
Yeah.
I will say that house prices are cheap because there's a hell of a lot of empty houses at the moment because there's a hell of a lot of dead folk.
Okay.
I heard the king's house is empty.
I don't know if he'd be financially solvent enough to own his own property. Yeah, I'd probably be.
That's cool. You can be in a boarding house or something.
Yeah, just have a room in a boarding house. That's fine.
And Jed, where's Liam living?
It is a kind of an apartment in a tenement house, maybe something like that. Maybe it is a dwelling that's seconded by the military, so it's near to a major barracks. But I'm
Cool.
not living in a barracks itself because I'm an officer now.
And you've got like the top floor of this 5-story building or something
That's
like
what
that.
I'm thinking. Yeah, sure. Yeah, and there's there's a family below me, and then a young man with a trade below them, and so on and so forth.
Hmm.
I'm going to say actually they're all military.
Okay.
So yeah, it is a young man with a trade, but he
Yeah.
works for the military.
No problem. Yeah.
And the same with the family. So they'll be family of another officer or something like that.
Yep.
So Sam is who? Sam is Quintus. Where is Quintus and what's he up to?
Well, I think last time I said Quintus Elro has been, because of his status as a medal-winning hero, was used as some sort of status symbol to popularise the war bonds or whatever the equivalent is in medieval times. Get out your iron for us to smelt down. So he was given a, what was it? My brain's going to what's the word for it?
Chlamydia.
When it's a special role in government but it's meaningless. What's the word?
Ceremonial.
Ceremonial position. Thank you, Jed. The ceremonial position in the government underneath the councillors. So I'm thinking he's probably had a house bought and paid for by the government, and it is in where councillors live, but not as grand as theirs.
Okay, so I'm going to say that you have one of the smallest lakeside villas in North Verdania.
Okay.
This is a relatively posh area, but what you've been handed is a fairly run-down place.
Yes,
But
it's part of the ceremonial positions holdings. Yeah.
And then Vic, what's Sigurd's story? If he's back, he's not back. Okay, we can.
And yeah, in my
Sigurd.
He's mysterious.
Because of how much I do not like this position and the way I'm being abused, I spend most of my time with Sigurd carrying out the justice.
Yeah, and
there we go.
Oh, you're back. Okay, so Sigurd, where do you live, and what was it you were last up to when we talked last?
I assume I live in the capital, but I
Yes.
spend most of my time between the capital and the small holdings around it, spreading faith, dispensing justice, and all that sort of work. Also, while doing some of it in the capital, but my main thing will be around the local area.
Okay, so you're kind of wandering. Do you have a place you call home? Is there a cloister, or what's the word? A missionary house you live in, something like that?
Yeah, we've got a family home, and then the Temple of the Storm.
So I'd say there's there's probably
the
I don't know.
paladin part of it. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd say there's like I don't know what the term is for where like monks live.
Cloister.
Monastery with monks,
Monastery.
right?
Yeah, so I'd say there's probably a monastery near the temple that, like right across the road from the temple, that houses all the clergy. And you'd have rooms there, but you're not there that much. Just to say that on your travels, you generally are very well welcomed to the farmlands as the god of storm. Is that what we're calling him? God of the storms is generally, as we discussed in the past, he's still prayed to, even though he's, I suppose, might be lesser than the god of air, just because of the famine in the past. He was prayed to, brought the rains, helped everyone, crops, all that stuff. So generally, farming communities, especially older farmers or longer farmers who've worked for many generations and have this, they'd usually have a little shrine to the god of storm, which typically I think might be placed on top of the house, something like that, kind of like an air vein, a wind vein, something along those lines. Okay, so it's coming towards the end of the summer. So because we're in the southern hemisphere, this is still going to be, say, February or something like that. It is hot and heavy in Verdun, and the heat and the sunlight, once it crests the mountains to the east and west, cooks the city until the stink of it really gets into the nose. It's a day at the start of the week, and a boy knocks, or you can hear a light hand on the door of Liam's apartment. You have a stairwell that runs up, and obviously, locked doors for each of the landings. There's a young messenger there, probably just 13 or 14. He's wearing the livery of the city, which I think we said last week was white/silver and gold. And he hands you a letter, sealed stamp, and you recognize the seal as coming from General Marcus Ironside, commanders of the army.
Ooh.
I will take it from the boy, the runner.
He'll kind of
not invite him in.
Yeah, he'll doff his cap, and he's a little kind of flat cap, and he'll just run off. Like he knows not to wait for a response.
Okay.
Like these are a set of orders opposed to a question.
I will quickly finish my drink and open and read it.
It's not written in Ironside's hand. Obviously, one of his Gopher's adjutants has penned in his tongue, though. So, please come ASAP. Need a favor. Can help us win some influence in court.
Am I aware of Ironside's loyalties in court?
Ironside is an old religion man. He's a dragonborn.
Sure.
Dragonborn tend to live a little bit longer, and it's most of the long-lived races have been more resistant to the spread of this new faith. Just because they have their beliefs and they're set in their ways and whatnot.
Reasonable, to be honest. Okay. Yeah, not that there was a question as to whether I would go or not, but and presumably there's an address on there where I know where to report to.
There's no address there, but you do know where to find him.
Okay.
Basically, he has an office in the palace grounds, as do all of the councillors.
Yeah.
Some of them don't use their office that often, like the high priests and priestesses and the other clerics and the chancellor for the university, things like that. But you'd know where to find them as well most of the time.
I will dress myself, put on some smart shoes. Pick up my loot, I think. Because, and head on out.
All right. So you already had a drink, so I'm assuming it's at least after midday.
Old of you, but sure, yeah.
So you went your way from your boarding house in your apartments in not the greatest area of town, but the streets are well emptier than you remember from before the war, and there's sound of kids playing in the street and screaming and chasing and fighting each other has kind of petered out ever since the war ended. And you wend your way through some more affluent areas until you get yourself into the palace grounds, past the guards. You show them your badge of office,
Yeah.
I guess, your ID, and you make your way into the military wing of the palace. Ironside's adjutant is sitting at a desk outside his office. A man by the name of Mercy.
Okay.
Captain Mercy.
Captain Mercy. Got it.
Yeah, you can go in. Tomil, he'll call you. Yeah, you can go in, Tomil. What rank are you, by the way?
Also captain now. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So he won't refer to you as captain.
No, that's it. And likewise, he's not higher than me, so I'm not going to salute or anything. But I will stand smartly. I'm wearing what passes as a kind of informal uniform, a little bit smarter than what we might have worn in field a couple of years ago, but not dress uniform and not the polished armor of city guards or palace guards. So yeah, I will knock first, and then, without waiting for a response, crack the door.
You can see Ironside's head down over parchment, scratching away with his pen. He's a silver dragonborn, of now probably considerable age. He was a massive unit of a warrior back in the day, but this is all kind of tend to sag and go to rest in the last few years since the war has ended. Ah, come in, he says and gestures with his hand without looking at you.
I think now I'll stand a little more upright. It's not necessarily to attention, but I'll try and find myself in a position where it's not too familiar. It's respectful.
Cool. Well, take a seat. Take a seat.
Sure, will do. Yeah.
As soon as you sit down, he will look up at you, take off a small pair of glasses that have been perched on his snout, and that he seems to need for reading and writing these days. I have a bit of a favour to ask. There's what's the bloody woman's name? Oh God. Oh yes. No, sorry, apologies.
It's all right.
Priestess of the Storm. I've replaced the Priestess of Air. There should be another council member. Priestess. I need a name. An air cleric. Look at.
Yeah. Okay. Aria. Yeah.
Aria Sparrow.
Got it. And I'll recognise the name, I assume.
You will, yes.
Yeah.
You will generally know the names of everyone on the council.
Hmm.
In fact, you will. You all will. High Priestess Sparrow has asked me for a favour. One of her priests had gone off to some mountain up to the northwest in search for something or other. I don't quite follow. You'll have to talk to her. She needs his priest found. He was due back weeks ago. He's high ranking or something. He'd learn us a little favour with the air temple and should give us another notch on the bedpost, so to speak, when it comes to any votes in the future. If you aren't too busy, would you be able to gather a few folks and head over to the Air Temple to talk to Miss Sparrow. See what she can tell you.
Of course, sir. Am I to understand that this is a favour and not an order?
Yeah, quite true. Yes. He's gotten posher for some reason. Yes. Nothing stupid, nothing dangerous. But if it's just a case of taking a few days ride out into the mountains to find this man or what's left of him and bring him back, it'd be a great favour for ourselves.
Understood, sir. I'll get right to it. Do you expect I'll need a team for this?
Well, the amount of bloody refugees around. Who knows who's hiding out there? And the northeastern mountains around Snake River have never been the safest of places. I'd take a friend or two if you have them.
Aye, one or two. And as you say, favour and not an order. No active personnel.
Correct, yes. Yes. See Mercy for a what's the word? A stipend. And yes, as you say, leave the regular crew, your regular crew, out of it. He is referring, to Fish and,
For example, yeah. Yeah.
Other active personnel.
I will nod. And only one question, sir.
Go ahead.
Will the Sparrow know to expect me?
Well, tell her I sent you. She's asked the favour. I said I'd see what I could do. And don't give her any more than a fortnight of your time.
Understood. Thank you, sir. It's good to see you.
Yes, and you too. You too.
And I'll
stay safe. We'll have something more interesting for you when you return, hopefully.
And I'll stand and I'll leave. If I see Mercy.
Yeah, Mercy's at his desk. The desk has changed slightly, as in it has a pouch on the corner near the door.
Yeah.
And he'll just kind of point with his pencil.
I'm going to need you to arrange mounts. 4
How
of
many
us.
do you need?
4 sturdy ones that'll take armor heavier than what I'm wearing. And
I'll arrange it with the horsemaster. You can see him at the stables in a day.
You'll need to call in a favour with the Storm Temple. I'm commandeering one of their men.
Oh, yeah, it shouldn't be a problem.
Sorry.
I'll send in a request immediately.
Last question. You don't know anyone at the university by any chance? Never attended myself.
I know the Chancellor to speak to. Lady Elwyn Ravencroft. She's the chair of the university.
Then I'll put her on to you if I have any difficulty. And I'll pick up the pouch and I'll leave.
Okay. The pouch contains 200 gold.
Cool, yeah. 200.
A decent dinner in Verdania is about 1 gold.
Yeah.
You'd consider it upmarket.
I will add 200 gold. At least for the minute, I will take care of the party treasury.
I will, yeah.
Yeah. Well, if it's easier if one person does it, if that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, fine. Okay.
All right. So, everyone else is in their current digs, having either just returned from the road or a recent expedition out into the mountains. And we can just gloss over a news team assembled, I think, and have you all sitting around a quiet table in the monastery, waiting for your old Captain Tomuel to ask this favour.
Lads, I'm not entirely sure what we're wading into, but I've been told to keep it off the books so far as uniforms are considered. There aren't many people in this city, full stop, and none that I would trust more than the three of you. As such, we're going north, Snake River direction, I understand. Larry, you know anything about the area?
Yeah, I was there quite recently. I'm familiar with it.
You didn't run into any monks, any air temple types?
Not particularly. Some bandits,
Well.
and but nothing like that.
Well, bandits is a risk, but I think we can patch in around that. Short answer is Air Temple have lost one of theirs, and we all could do with a favour being owed.
This comes from Ironside?
It comes from Ironside, via Ironside, from Priestess Sparrow.
Huh. So how come he's bringing in, well, myself, retired soldiers? Why isn't he just sending a platoon up there?
Very clearly, lads, this is a favour, not a mission.
Okay, so off the books kind of thing.
Off the books means cash in hand, if I remind you.
Oh well, that can be quite persuasive, I guess.
Absolutely. Now, should be fairly clean. We just need to find a missing person. Payment will be in cash, as mentioned. Favors, as requested.
All right.
Time back will be covered from your usual employments. Larry, I've spoken to Ravencroft, passed something along. Same thing with you, lads. The Storm's happy to let you off the leash for a few days. But what we need to do is speak to Sparrow, find out exactly what the crack is.
All right.
So High Priestess Sparrow reigns as, what's the word? Pontiff?
Yeah?
I don't know. Pontiff over the Air Temple. The Air Temple is a hollowed out network of caves sitting atop a mountain to the east of the city.
Cool.
Basically there. It's a few hours ride. Now they do have temples within the city, but that's the main source of worship. Their holy ground.
That's where we'd expect her to be, rather than in
yes.
say, council chamber. Yeah.
The council chambers typically, I think maybe every what we'd call Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, council members meet. Not all of them will be there, but that's the time where the palace is a little busier. Today's a Tuesday, and you would expect to find her in her temple. The temple's, like I said, it's carved. There's pillars of white marble that have been laboriously dragged up this mountain from some quarry far away, and have created these series of spires. The worship of the air gods, the air god, or the air, not even the god. The element is usually conducted high up on these towers, up on flat, open surfaces atop them. It's a few hours ride. You have led 4 horses here, or I don't know if you guys have horses, but there's 4 sturdy, mountain-trained horses ready to go at your disposal.
Yeah. Anything anybody needs to arrange before we leave?
No.
I'll send
a break from the council chambers would be welcome.
I'll send a runner to Royland, just telling him I'll be unavailable for a few days.
As I say, my man's going to arrange it with your lady Ravencroft, so shouldn't be any issues. But I understand it's courteous to let the boss know.
Mm.
Yeah, when you're employed by this guy, Larry, or not Larry, yeah, Larry, it typically is paid well.
Mm.
It's it's usually a couple of weeks' work
Mm.
off at a dig site or poking through some old, ruin or something like that,
Yeah.
and then maybe there's like a month of downtime.
Yeah.
So that's the type of work.
I get like
That's the pattern of work.
jobs that last me a while, and then I'm off for a while. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. And they would typically be fairly adventurous work out to old ruins and fairly strenuous. And you'd act as this guy's bodyguard.
Yeah.
Typically, he'd have a small team of,
Yeah.
students with him or craftsmen, an engineer maybe, to haul big shit and like set up a crane or something to do some digging, that type of thing.
Okay. Cool.
So the short trip up to the mountain only takes a couple of hours. You'd be approaching close to dinner time. The switchback trail gets too steep about 300 meters from the top, but there is a stable there to rest your horses as you take the rest of the steep stairs up. You're greeted at the entrance by Sister Isabel.
Mm.
Gentlemen, how can I help you?
We were hoping for an appointment with Priestess Sparrow. I'll dismount to speak to her. I won't speak to her directly from the horse. Come with a relatively sensitive matter, but we're doing a favour for General Ironside.
Oh, I'll send message if you'd like to follow me. She will walk through a series of hand-carved caves. The litany, I don't know if that's the right word, but the stories of the air gods carved into the walls here. Sorry, I keep saying gods. They worship the air element, not gods. So the story of their history is here to be interpreted by pilgrims and petitioners. You meet High Priestess Sparrow in a waiting room at the base of one of these tall spires. As you were waiting, she descends. She's dressed entirely in white, long flowing gown, simple, and she has, as all of the priestesses do here, a white kind of veil over her face. She sounds old. She kind of looks raggedy through that veil. General Ironside sent you, is that correct?
That's correct, Mum.
I'm glad he's seen sense. One of my priests, a hapless fool named Ignatius, took it upon himself to investigate some strange movements of birds out near the Snake River. He said he was raving about things. He's one of our seers. What's the word you would understand? He obtains knowledge for the temple. He's been obsessed with these irregular movements of animals over the last few weeks, and he's gone off on a confounded expedition up near the lake, the Moon Lake up there, and that was over 3 weeks ago. We expected him back. About a week passed, and he only took a young lad with him, so I fear for his safety. And I know I'm sure it's a great trouble for you and your friends here to do this, but it would mean a lot to the temple.
Good day, ma'am. When you say strange movements of animals, irregular movements of animals, could you be more specific? Or do you not know?
Well, quite frankly, I wasn't paying too much attention to him,
Okay.
to my shame. But he was saying birds and bats and other ground-based creatures were exhibiting peculiar migration patterns.
Huh.
Like all the ducks from the lake left months earlier than they were expected to fly south.
Yeah.
I don't know why he concerned himself with this, but he seemed to have some insight that he didn't share. Or maybe he thought was too early to discuss in detail with his betters.
Well, I think before we go, gentlemen, I think if we could, do you know if you might have any notes or notebooks that we could, where you may have written any of this down to help prepare us for the what's ahead?
Of course. Isabel, show them to Ignatius's rooms, would you? And thank you, gentlemen. Your safety will be in our prayers as you take on this task.
If you don't mind me asking, a last question. The young boy who travelled with him, what was his name?
Kieran.
Kieran. And I'm sure, should we be able to return Kieran safe and well, that will be also on our priorities.
Oh, of course, yes. They took with them a pair of donkeys and provisions for 2 weeks. I don't know the name of the mountain they were going to. I do know it was up by Moon River, Moon Lake, and knowing Ignatius, he was a meticulous man. I'm sure you'll find something in his quarters.
Gracious, thank you.
Thank you, Milton.
And do not concern yourself with our expenditures. We're well trained and indeed we might say specialists in this role of finding a man and bringing him to the wills of the forces in Verdun.
We were once, Sarge.
Well, don't know about you fellas, but I'm quite adept at finding things.
Well, gentlemen, go with our grace. And as I say, we shall pray for you as you travel, and we shall have a reward waiting upon your return. I insist.
We'll go with Isabel, not Imogen. Isabel, yeah.
So, Isabel takes you down into the caves. Again, carved into these caves are various rooms for the priests, the clergy, their paladins, and the lay people who help service this site of pilgrimage. The heavy wooden door is unlocked by Isabel, who seems to hold a giant ring of keys. And, well, take a look around. I do have to stay, though. She'll say sheepishly. And she'll kind of open the door, gesture for you to walk in, and then stand inside the door just watching what you're doing. The room itself has been carved out properly. It's square. It's been carpeted. and the walls have been painted with some sort of whitewash. One of the walls is a large, long, 20-foot long board of wood. It's been attached to it, and he has been pinning notes and stuff onto it. He notes you see a hand-drawn map. You can clearly see Sapphire Lake, Sky Mirror Lake, a tower to the north west of Sky Mirror Lake, and a small river that runs up towards Moon Lake. Larry, you're familiar with this area. You know it quite well. In fact, most of you probably do, any of the more outdoorsy types. And Sigurd probably has some experience towards Sky Mirror Lake and some of the smaller communities, but past that, probably not much. Across Moon Lake and the river north of it, and on Sky Mirror Lake, there's a bunch of X's on this hand-drawn map. And give us an investigation roll, somebody who's taking a look at this.
Yes.
I'm familiar with the area. I'll have a look.
I'm familiar with investigation.
I have plus DOS, so I get 5.
9.
Can't read the handwriting on the map.
Investigation. 18 plus 5, so 23.
That's why he's in charge.
Yeah, it is.
So, it seems these were either particular sightings or known communities, what's the word, populations of animals.
Okay.
He seems to be concerned only with airborne animals.
Okay.
And if somebody wants to give me a nature roll.
Not as well.
That as well.
-1, so no.
Roll it anyway.
20.
I'll
Natural?
do.
No, not natural.
Okay. Well, from Liam's checking of this, he can see that some of these are dated, and then from Quintus's knowledge of migration patterns of birds from when he was hunting as a lad, he knows that these are off by 3 months or so. What caused this is very, very unusual. You know from the past, obviously, sometimes wildfires or giant swings in temperature can cause this, but it's a fairly mild climate place. During the winters, even it's the floors of the valleys here remain green, and it's only the mountains that get snow. And during the summers, it can reach 30, 35 degrees.
Sheesh.
It's Mediterranean style.
You said it was warmer up north than it was down south, right?
No, it's warmer south.
Okay.
It is also warmer north, but over the mountains.
Right, got you.
So the mountains can be cold, and then we get up to like an equator,
Yeah.
jungly area.
Cool.
And then down south is also a little bit warmer, where Imabad is. It's a little more kind of savanna or chaparral before coming cold again, even further to the south.
Okay.
You're kind of sheltered corner of the world here.
Yeah, lovely.
So there's several X's on the map marking that, but he also has circled a mountain, basically, just to the north of Moon Lake.
Okay. With no notation, no kind of indication as to what's going on with it?
No, unfortunately not.
Okay. Anybody know anything about this mountain?
I can do a history check.
Survival check or a history.
Oh, survival.
Well, actually, give us a survival history. There's not enough civilization attached to this area?
Yeah, sure. 17.
So last time you went up north, you were following a trail, an old kind of goat trail by Snake River, and you were heading up. You stopped by Sky Mirror Lake and poked around in the ruins there for a while, but that was just a precursor. Your main goal was north of the forest, near where the Snake River starts, and supposedly there was a society that had been living there hundreds of years ago. You found old, abandoned, rotten wooden structures, but not much else of value. That was your last expedition. And you got back a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
You know the mountain. You know the area. You've walked the trail. You know nothing special about the mountain.
Right. Okay. Well, I can get us there, but yeah.
Let's start.
There's no annotations to the map or anything? Just the circling and all that? Oh.
Just the circling and the axis. Elsewhere on the board, as you look around, you see him have pinned up a list and a cost for 2 weeks worth of food for 2 people. Some notes about having talked to their stable master, other odds and ends. You see payments for tents and things like that.
Well, we got a starting point, boys.
Isabel, he didn't share anything with you, or is there anyone here he might have spoken to about the significance of these auspices, his auguries and the like here?
No, Priest Ignatius was quite tight-lipped in his auguries, as is the nature of his role in the temple.
Yeah.
He is to deliver his learnings to the High Priestess and his peers. Not for the likes of me, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Has he got any written down anywhere? Sorry.
Right.
Did he keep a journal by any chance of his sermons?
No, that's not the type of priest he was. He didn't interact with the lay people. He was had a specialist role within this community. He was, if you want, our eyes and ears for the greater world.
It's funny where I come from. The guys who know something that they don't think anyone else does can't be made to shut up about it. But that's fine. Well, lads, I think we've got our point of investigation.
Indeed.
I had old Mercy arrange some supplies, some mounts that we can take up there. Let's hope this 2 weeks that
If we're going into the woods for 2 weeks, then that's a fair chunk of supplies.
Yeah, well, as I say, let's hope, just because Ignatius planned to take 2 weeks. I mean, that's only a couple of days' ride. We'll rock up, locate his corpse, and stroll on back.
Little noise out of Isabel when you mentioned his corpse.
And if we do think anyone's lying to us, I have 2 zones of truth.
Oh.
Back in a sec.
Right.
So,
as we leave, I want to garner Cap's attention.
Who?
Mine.
Captain.
Oh, sorry.
What can I do for you, Quintus?
Just speaking out loud and speaking in my mind, if that's all right with you, boss.
As ever.
Do you think Ironsides is just kind of palming us off on you? As in, he's expected to do something, but he can't be asked, so he's got us to do it for him.
I mean, it's probably beneath him.
Yeah, wouldn't necessarily be becoming of the general to be traipsing out and around in
but
mountains.
why can't the normal Bob do it?
That's what I'm concerned about.
Now that's a different matter, lads. So what we have here is not perhaps officially a case of a missing person, even.
Hmm.
Strikes me that this here Ignatius is something of a secret weapon that the temple itself holds. I mean, did you fellas know they had diviners working out here?
No.
Maybe.
But you
Which
yourself
temple
are
do you think so?
You're the Storm Temple, right? You two?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so not this.
you fellas
not
are
this one.
men of the cloth yourselves. You know how these things work. So personally, I think maybe they'd like it kept a little hush-hush. That's one thing. Second of all, we have the capacity to do things in a different way than
Outside official channels, you could say.
precisely.
Well,
Now, it's been a while
can't
since I've seen
disagree
you
with
fellas,
that.
but let's say some of the things I've done over the past couple of years are not going to make it into the official list of commendations for which I have been earning a living.
Well, I'm quite adept at retrieving lost articles, but it's not usually a live one, or a human one, as it were. Sentient.
Now, hence, Quintus Sigurd, you fellas are religious men amongst other things, but also are known to be somewhat persuasive. This is an opportunity, if nothing else, to garner favour. Rub a little mud in the eye of those who would rather not know that someone's gone missing. Now, my impression is that if those of whom might vote against us, shall we say, were to learn of what was going on, that such an individual was missing, or indeed to learn what Ignatius was here looking for, perhaps that would be disadvantageous to the situation. But I do understand you, Quintus, and your question is fair.
What was the question?
Basically, is Ironsides just using us to do dirty work instead of getting the normal Bob to do it?
And how dirty is this dirty work?
Yeah, that's the one.
Kind of the question. Yeah, what's he not telling us, amongst other things?
If I see any laws being broken, I will judge. That was a bad accent. That stands for all.
Sure, glad to have you along, Sigurd.
Even if you have become more right wing since we last met.
Yeah, especially because it's become more right.
All right, so you leave the temple, pick up your steeds, and saunter back through town, collecting what supplies you need from the offices of
There'll be a quartermaster, won't they?
Mercy. Yeah. And
With the amount of supplies we'd need a pack horse at least.
no, not really. You've probably got
Limber
saddlebags.
spread, it's fine.
You've got saddlebags, and it's literally what? Oh no, maybe you will.
That would take 2 to 3 days to pass through mountains, at least, probably.
If that's 100 miles from Verdania to Moon Lake, that's probably
3 days on a horse.
No,
Easy.
not in that terrain. Be longer.
Actually, like
I'm thinking 5.
too.
Yeah. I think you'd probably do. I think officially D&D it's like 10 miles or something on horse in that terrain. I could be wrong, but who cares?
See, we would have to go by the
You
road.
also have. Well, you can ferry over the lake. There is settlement on the far side of the lake in Verdania. So there is a ferry there, and you can cut through. There's a low pass towards Sky Mirror Lake, so that's all easy, plain sailing. but it's when you get up
I'd
closer to the
assume
north.
To Stonewall and
I'd
presumably
assume
take
I'd
a ferry
know
up to.
this sort of area rather well,
Yes.
so I'd probably know any passes through.
Yeah, you'd know. I'm sure there's a community or two around Sky Mirror Lake that you would have visited and visit as part of your routine. However, north and to the east of the lake is less populated.
Yeah, so we'd be able to pass
Sorry,
through
west.
this nice and quick. But once we get this
Yeah.
side,
Yeah, so I'm thinking 5 days. You'll cover probably the same distance in the first 2 as you will in the last 3.
Right. Could always pick up supplies at one of the villages on the way.
Yeah,
what
that's
time
it.
of year?
Yeah.
It's late summer. It's still pretty warm. You're talking nice balmy evenings and like 20 to 25 degrees during the day.
That's also seeing time of year be whether villages would be willing to part with
Yeah.
food and rations.
Yeah, they'll be coming up on harvest.
Yeah,
Laughing.
which isn't so bad.
Sky Mirror Lake as well probably has fishing communities on it, so
And yeah, we'd be able to get fish and stuff from the lakes and rivers.
okay, so you setting off?
Let's go.
Yeah, more that we need. Yeah.
Okay, everyone got spells picked, and you don't have to.
I'm
You're not wizards.
going to inform the paladin ahead of me or above me of what's going on as well, to
Cool.
a degree.
Yeah.
But also tell them to keep quiet-ish, if you know what I mean. Like
You're gonna tell him.
inform
You're gonna tell him
them
where
to-
we're going, or
Not necessarily where we're going, but I'm just going to inform them that we're looking for a priest of the wind.
Well, to be fair, I think, Vic, that Sigurd is at a rank that he's afforded these freedoms.
Oh yeah, no, I just want my clergy, my thingy, to know that
Yeah,
we're
okay.
searching for some other priest. But I imagine wind and storm would be quite well with each other because these are very similar.
Yeah, they're very much in the similar pantheon. I'm sure there's been spots over the years, but they're probably mostly due to humans, opposed to the divine works.
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe the snootier of the air temple looked down upon you guys as a minor domain, but you guys know better. So,
Yeah, we do.
but they seemed very respectful when you were up there talking to them. The high priestess is obviously either doesn't share those views or is a savvy politician.
Yeah, I'd assume she politic.
So a few days pass. You've taken the ferry. You've forded the first valleys. You've passed goat herders, some olive farms. This is a path most of you know quite well. You spend the second night of your journey in an inn in a small village around Sky Mirror Lake. Unfortunately, no one is willing to boat you across the lake due to their work schedules, so you have to head north and go around again. Larry's quite familiar with this route. There's no sign or talk of banditry along the way. There's no travellers in this area once you leave the villages. These are out-of-the-way paths in a country starving for manpower. A couple of days, fairly easy ride leads you up into the hills and then alongside mountains. Till in the distance you can see the glimmer of Moon Lake, and off to the north you can see the sharp peak that you think is Green Mountain. It seems to be a high vantage point over Moon Lake. And it looks like it's got a goat trail leading off into it.
I should have mentioned, Gav. I think places that we stop or places that we stay on the way, I might ask odd people about Ignatius if they remember him coming through.
Oh, good point. Yes, I did. I kind of glazed over that part.
I could have mentioned it then. Yeah, sure.
So the village near Skymirror Lake where you stayed, yes, he will have been seen.
Okay.
It was him and his servant. That's what the innkeeper will say.
Yeah.
They had 2 asses, and they took themselves up north. They said they were going up to Moon Lake. Didn't say much else.
No,
Said they were going to be just a couple of days.
They'd only planned a couple of days. Well.
Oh, he even paid me for a room on the way back.
Oh. Keep it in credit. Maybe we'll be around to cash it in.
Yeah.
You can tell this guy's a veteran from the war as well. In his 40s, probably got a tattoo or something that you recognize.
Yeah.
A lot of people around here are.
Yeah.
What regiment were
missing
we
limb,
again?
things like that.
With Verdant Shields.
The Verdant Shields.
Verdant Shields, yeah. So that was a silver background with a green tree on it.
So he's clearly a different regiment.
Yes, he is.
Just give him a little nod.
All right, so as you approach the mountain, can I get some observation checks? I cannot remember the name of the skill.
Perception or investigation?
Perception, please.
I do not know what mine is.
So who's got the highest
10.
wisdom?
18.
I'll have the highest wisdom,
19.
Sam will have the highest wisdom.
Yeah, mine's
but I'm just not proficient in most of the wisdom things.
Yeah. No, fuck it.
Okay, well,
rolled.
you got an 18?
I did.
We have 118, yeah.
I got a 19.
Cool.
14.
So, Larry, you can clearly see some sort of goat trail that leads switching back up this mountain further towards the peaks. However, Quintus and Larry, your eyes are drawn to this tiny splotch of what looks like red a long way up this mountain. Maybe the others have mistaken it for flowers or some other flora, but to you it looks too bright.
You see that? Insert name here for Gex.
I see something. Looks red. Just call me Larry. You're my buds. I see something. Looks red.
And they point it out, and once they do, you all see it.
Sure.
It could be gorse or some other vegetation to your eyes, but you've learned to trust Larry and Quintus's eyes in the past.
Worth investigating.
How are we doing for daylight, Gav?
This is late in the day on day 5.
Okay.
So you've probably got... It's summer. You figure this high up in the mountains, you've probably got another 3 hours of daylight, and what we're seeing up there is probably a couple of 100 meters away.
Okay, that's fine. We can get up to that.
Take a little look-see.
Yeah. I think what we'll do, I'll have you two fellas get a closer look at it. Figured I want you with me, and you and I are going to establish a camp and do some observation, look at what else might be moving around in the area. If we're gaining some ground, it'll be a good chance to get a good look over the lake, maybe cross-reference the wildlife spottings. Sound good, lads?
Sure, boss.
Yeah.
All right, so Quintus and Larry, are you taking your horses?
I think I'd
It's
rather
tough
go on
going
foot.
for them.
Yeah, I think I'd rather go on foot. Approach.
Yeah, we'll take all the horses,
Cautiously.
and I'm going to give
Yeah.
Gex a bardic inspiration.
Cool.
Okay, this area that you're currently in is, well, it's summer. The weather's good. You could camp here, but it's not ideal. It's on the edge of a mountain that's high enough up that trees aren't growing.
Yeah. Okay, so who's with me?
Yeah.
Sigurd.
Me.
Okay. Are you
Oh, sorry.
adept at sneaking?
Quintus and Larry are going uphill. Sigurd and I are going to set up camp and look
Okay.
around for what else might be going on in the area.
Okay, so you guys take the horses and start to prepare a camp, gather up some stuff for a fire, whatnot. Larry and Quintus push uphill. After 10 or so minutes, you come upon the scene that you've seen from below. What you see is a boulder about the size, I don't know, of a couch, sitting on top of the front half of a horse.
Oh boy.
The horse has been squashed by this thing. The blood is spread out over a vast area, and you can just make out the woven Hessian robes and the young hand of a boy underneath it.
Oh boy.
Yes, that's what he said.
Is he still alive?
Fuck no. No,
I'll pull his. I'll pull his hand, and it comes away.
it probably comes away, or at least, you know, the fabric might not, but his hand certainly does.
Well, this young fella is certainly fucked.
Can I get an investigation check and a nature check? Or, sorry, an investigation or a nature check.
I mean, I guess I'll go investigation. 9 plus. Wait, that's not me. Yeah, I got 11.
21 investigation.
Hell yeah.
So, after taking a moment to absorb the scene, you realize that the saddlebags on this animal have been emptied.
Huh.
Or are empty, should I say.
Okay.
So it could have been robbery, or it could be an accident, and Ignatius took all the gear.
And it also looks like there's horse prints leading further up the trail.
Is there any
Single horse.
How old is the carcass? Can I investigate that, or medicine?
Yeah.
Check how long
No,
these
your
guys have been dead.
investigation roll was good enough for Quintus anyway. And you've seen your fair share over the recent years. The air is a little drier up here. There isn't as much insects and things, at least not flies. You're thinking a couple of weeks.
Oh, really?
Maybe only a week.
So, probably early on in the trip.
Between 2 to 3 weeks. Or, sorry, 1 to 3 weeks, you would imagine.
Huh. I ain't no CSI, that's for sure. Perhaps we
3
should.
weeks.
Well, I mean, we got a trail.
Basically archaeology by this point, isn't it?
We got a trail, but I don't know. Oh, should we keep going or report back? What do you reckon?
Keep going.
All right, we'll keep looking, and let's say I don't know, half an hour. We'll walk, and then we call back if there's any trouble.
All right.
All right, so we'll follow the trail.
So the trail, quite deep hoof prints at the start, and spaced quite wide apart. You can tell after.
Is it one horse?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
After about 5 minutes, they seem to break into a canter, and are spaced closer. They're lighter in the ground. You see the trail is going to take you up and around the mountain a bit further to the north and out of sight of your compatriots. Do you
All
wish
right.
to keep going?
I think we should report back, personally. We've got I'd say this is a prime indication of where Ignatius has dispatched himself.
Give me a sec. My smells.
So perhaps we ought to rest for the night and then carry on along this trail.
Begin setting up camp, my good man. I will tell the others. I will cast sending to the captain.
Let's tell him to. We got to tell them to come up here.
Yes, in 25 words or less, I say to Jed,
Get over here.
Yes, exactly.
What about if we can't get the horses up here, though?
Yeah, you can.
Just
It's just going to be hard going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, they've got time to
don't
do
run.
it.
See,
Yeah.
you figured that priest, what are we calling him? Ignatius.
Yep.
Wasn't as familiar with horses in the mountains. Like if
Falling rocks. Oh my god,
exactly.
he got Kieran got rocks falling, he died.
So yeah, the sending is cast. Luckily you hadn't, only 20 minutes or so had passed, and basically you had just brushed down your horses and taken off in saddlebags, so the requests to follow them up isn't too much of an inconvenience.
Yeah, well, yeah. Might mean pitching camp after dark then. I don't know. Is there any activity
No,
around? There's no sign of people moving in the area.
No. So there hasn't been sign of people for the last 2 days.
Yeah.
The only sign is, I suppose, this goat trail. It is used at some point. Maybe up the mountains here somewhere there's shepherds. Larry knows that this area is mostly uninhabited.
Yeah.
You will have other creatures living up here. Wild cats. Possibly every now and then there'll be some troubles from
There might be
orc
bear and the like.
bands. There will be bears, yeah. And I would imagine anything living north of this mountain range isn't really suited to the mountains, so it tends not to come south. That's the jungles of the turtle folk.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave a meal each for us with us, and then stash the camping stuff, hang the food in a way that animals can't easily get to it.
Smart.
And kind of make a mental note between Sigurd and I as to where things are hidden.
Okay.
Just so we can travel a bit more lightly.
Right.
I'll keep enough food and water for a meal each for us, just in case things do go. We're
So
out
for
away
tomorrow,
a little bit
you
longer
mean?
than we planned. No, I mean stash things now.
And just take one day's
And
worth
just
of food.
take a meal's worth of food to ride up to you guys now.
Okay.
Okay,
So we're not going to pitch camp yet, and instead, just hang the food and stash the tent, the beds for the time being.
All right, so 20 minutes.
Lighten the horses and then ride up to.
Yeah, I get
Sure.
you.
Larry and
So
Quintus.
20 minutes further up the trail, you meet up again.
What have you got, lads?
Well,
pass
the
the,
boy got squished, and it looks like the other one ran away. We'll
Take
continue on.
investigation checks if you want to take a fresh look at the scene. That's for Sigurd and Liam.
Yeah, I'm curious if we can work out, in particular, like what might have killed.
Wait, that 5-ton rock that sat on top of him. To be honest.
Okay.
A 2-ton rock is definitely what killed him.
Understood. Yeah. Yeah. Is there anything in the area?
Investigation check anyway.
Yeah. I'll roll that. Questions like, does it appear to have been?
Does it have fingerprints on it?
Has it been naturally dislodged or pushed? Things like that.
Did I do it?
For investigation, I've got a +5, so that's a 19.
Not bad.
So you being the more intelligent man, you look around and you see no fresh indents up the mountain. So there's no evidence of it rolling down the mountain.
Oh, okay. Like it seems to have been spontaneously plonked here, rather than...
Oh, you've seen things during the war, you know such things are possible, but yeah, that's what it seems like to you. I suppose maybe if somebody up on top of the mountain had a catapult or a trebuchet. A trebuchet, definitely. Catapult wouldn't have the...
And then, so tactically speaking, are there obvious points from where that might have come or travelled?
The tip of the mountain is about 200 meters up from where you are now.
Yeah.
Or at least that's what it looks like. Could be a false peak. I suppose from there.
Well, you say you found a trail?
Yes. Points at trail.
Tracks.
Single horse. Familiar looking hoof prints. As in, I don't know, maybe all hooves from Verdania look the same. Or all horseshoes look the same. And yeah, there is, like I said, there's a horse taking off on a gallop and heading up around the mountain to the northwest.
Okay. Eyes fucking peeled then, eh, lads?
Yeah.
I'm just sure it wouldn't know a man who's done this, kid. Don't know.
You've heard
Chances are.
stories of air priests during the war tearing down walls, pushing over battlements.
Could be a dangerous feller.
Yeah, we've probably seen it during the war as well.
Yeah.
Well, you heard a lot of secondhand tales from naval officers about what the power that comes out of these men of the air.
Yeah.
Did they spend a lot of time in the Navy, these airmen?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of benefit to being able to control the wind when you're at
Mm.
sea. I suppose.
Likewise, there's a lot of benefit to being able to control the storm. Anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get a bit of spacing then if we're going to take off after this trail.
I'll take the lead.
You will.
Okay, so you space out and you start following this trail up around the mountain. It seems to go downhill at first, and then after a few hundred meters starts to kind of maintain a level. Just as you reach the most westerly point of the mountain, you can see the valley and the snaking river out to the north, the forest it cuts through. And can I get... Actually, no, there's no point. You did pretty... Actually, yeah, give us an investigation check again, please.
Sure.
Or a nature survival check. Survival, actually.
Investigation or something.
Shit.
Investigation's better. Each of us rolling?
You can.
I got fucking 6.
Not 20.
Nice.
That'll work.
So,
20 total as well for me.
Larry's obviously lost some of his gift because, well, he's 50 feet out in front. You guys pass what looks like a giant bloody footstep. As in, not bloody, but a giant footstep, an imprint in the ground. That must be 3 feet. If anything.
Okay.
It's 5-toed and humanoid,
Oh
but
boy.
it's fucking massive. Upon dismounting and taking a closer look, well, you don't know what has fucking feet that size, but it looks like it was running.
Oh boy.
The way the depression in the ground. You know, it looks to be mostly toes and no heel.
Yeah.
Damn.
And it's
Barefoot?
around here, yes, barefoot. And it's around here you can also see the hoof marks change. There's an acceleration, you think, in the horse. And then downhill about 20 feet away, which Larry seemed to miss entirely, was there's disturbed ground, scraped ground. A large patch of it. 20 feet across, maybe.
Mm.
Any
Taking a
sense?
look.
Yeah. Any sense of what might have caused that? Is something has scoured it, or is this the size of the boulder that we saw?
Something has scoured it. No, it's not the size of the boulder. It's bigger. Something has scoured it. There's weird dents and imprints in it. You also find a ring of brass. Looks very similar to some of the tack on your horse.
Oh, okay. Are there any other remains of horse here?
There is not, no.
Hmm.
Might be a few strands of hair, though, caught in the grasses up here.
Jeez.
Okay.
Have a
Well,
sniff
after-
around, I guess.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, so you spread out, you look around, and you find you'd actually missed them first time around, but further back the trail you came, not far, only 20 feet or so, you see footprints, these giant footprints again, a lot closer spaced, and walking back up in the direction of the peak, the hill, the mountain.
Have we had? I assume we know about giants as a people.
As a people, you have heard tales of giants.
Okay.
You have
But
heard
never met any. They're
horror
not.
stories. They're not common. There's no half-giant people in this kingdom or the kingdoms that this kingdom deals with. There's no Goliaths in this world, as far as I know, or as far as you know. So there will be stories of giants. As a part-time student of archaeology, Larry, you will have not heard I can't remember his name, Royce, whatever his name was. Roylan talk about giants or any history of giants or gods fighting giants and all that nonsense. It's more through kind of fairy tales.
Okay, they are mythical creatures, sort of thing.
I'm going to get myself a drink.
I
in 2 minutes.
will might go for a cigarette, so give me like a few minutes.
Go for it.
Sure.
Sweet,
Okay.
sweet,
Birthday
sweet,
boy.
sweet. Thanks, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let's have a bong. Looking forward to seeing Offspring next year, though. Yeah, boy.
Yeah, that'll be.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
Bowling for soup as well, which would be funny. It's a lot of that fucking Offspring, Bowling for Soup, Fallout Boy. Loads of that punky sort of skater boy.
Sure. Yeah.
music.
Still buzzing, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Be funny. Sum 41.
Oh yeah, they're doing. It's like their last ever
Still
UK
alive?
dates. Yeah.
What, Sum
They
41?
are retiring. That's for sure.
Yeah, I thought he nearly died, didn't he, from alcohol?
Pantera's first fucking UK gig in 20 years. Cool. Queens of the fucking Stone Age.
I can't remember what his name is. The guy who's the lead singer of Sum 41 nearly died.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Genuinely can't remember the name. I've seen them. Fucking terrible.
But last time they were at Download, I was watching someone else, so I'll go and watch them for like 20 minutes. At least. Avenged Sevenfold as well, that'd be good. The second time I've seen them. Looking forward to that.
Nice.
The fuck. All of the early bird tickets sold out before all the bands. Pretty nuts. Looks like it might sell out complete.
You back?
Mm.
No, he's not back. That was somebody else. Thought that was a Gex burp.
Pretty common burp, but it was not.
So it's you judge it's probably an hour from darkness at this point.
Oh.
Peak of the mountain's only a few hundred meters away. So it's a case of if you want to camp or if you want to go follow this trail upwards today.
I think, lads, I don't want to be caught out after dark like this. We can set a nice hot camp, plenty of firewood at low levels.
Well, let's fucking camp, man. I can't keep moving at night, could we?
Well, we can do, but if we come across whatever has made this
He's Welsh now.
different, my accent's gonna be all over the fucking talk. I'm trying to do a German. I struggle. Yeah.
So you're suggesting going downhill to camp, is it? And pick up the trail again?
If we're that close to the summit, it's not going to hurt to see it. You know, if it's a couple of 100 meters, that's a minute or two on the horses. But
It's up though, isn't it?
You'll probably have trouble getting the horses for the last bit of the journey.
yeah, in which case, yeah, let's ride them back. We'll make the camp tonight and deal with yeah.
Well, you could still do it on foot. It's still not far, but I just mean you could The horses wouldn't make it. You might have to peg them here or something. If you still wanted to do it today. But yeah.
I'll tell you what, let's just get this cab set up and then we'll go take a wander out there, shall we? Before we have some food. What do you think? What, fine?
We'll have to set the camp below the tree line.
Tree line's probably half a mile downhill.
Yeah, I think
If you set the tree line, or if you set the camp down below the tree line, you're not doing this today.
Yeah.
During daylight.
that's what I'm thinking. I think we go back,
Right.
we camp tonight, and then we look on these clues with pressure heads and full bellies in the morning.
Fine.
All right. We'll wait for Gex to get back for the next bit.
Yeah.
Gentlemen.
Motherfucker.
Yo.
So the road's all cordoned off outside my flat, and they've got a million vehicles and a million guys ready to work all night. Looking forward to that.
It's my world. Pricks have been doing up a building attached to my one.
Yeah. Oh,
The last
God.
fucking year.
Yeah, since we moved in, there's been constant work going on outside, but they've chosen tonight, my birthday, to plane and tarmac the road, which they have to do all night. So
Yeah.
that should be interesting. I'm ready to go.
All right, so upon the captain's suggestion, not order, you ain't used to that.
Yeah.
You make your way downhill. It's about half a mile to the tree line, and after going a handful of feet into the tree line, you tie up the horses and set camp for the evening. It's peaceful, quiet, no birds singing, not much activity in the forest around you. The odd insect or two at this level. You get a small fire going, and you start cooking your evening meal.
I've got a feeling at this point, because I've been out of the military for a while, but I feel like at this point we'll all sort of unconsciously fallen back into tradecraft. So we're like, hiding the horses and, making sure we're well concealed.
That's
and
fair.
all that.
Do you want to light a fire? I just took it out of your...
Well,
I think we're secure enough to light a fire. It's all right.
we'd know how to make one that doesn't produce too much smoke and all that. I think, as scouts.
All right,
Yeah.
and are you keeping watch throughout the evening?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
This is a low-level D&D adventure, Gav. We're keeping watch.
I'll take the first watch, boys. Don't you worry. Been a
Wake me after.
while. I need to get back and practice on this sort of thing. Not like your illustrious career there, Captain.
Wake me in a couple hours.
Sure thing. Yeah. So
Who's second, third, and fourth?
I'll take second.
Yeah. That's an answer. Third.
Sam third.
There
Sigurd, give us a perception check.
Oh,
Yeah, roll that again.
landed on Obadiah.
Dice has to land on the table, or it doesn't count.
Sure. I like
15.
that. It's a better
19.
roll anyway.
19. Can you tell me what languages you speak?
Common, dwarf, elvish, gnome.
So,
Do we all speak Elvish? God damn it. Oh no. Sam doesn't.
you,
I mean, I am an elf, so I do. I've just not put it on my fucking sheet.
Yeah, makes sense.
it's very early in the morning. You're about an hour from waking the guys up. The tips of the mountains are all lit up. And over the morning breeze comes this deep, deep voice singing in Elvish. Give us a history check, please. You don't know the song. I doubt.
-1 from
Sing
that.
it, isn't it?
You don't know the song, but it talks of a great migration from the north. It talks about settling fresh new lands and chasing out enemies. It sounds like a Verdanian song, or you know from your study of the language, it's definitely sung in an Elvish style, but it's just this deep fucking voice you haven't even heard out of a dwarf before. It's very odd. It's coming, it's kind of echoing through the mountains, and it's being sung loud and proud at a distance.
While this is going on, I'm gonna walk over and boot Jed's bloke in the leg to wake him up. Not too hard, obviously.
I will
A little kick.
bolt awake.
Yeah, you'll bolt awake, hand on the hilt already, and it's like, oh, now you're safe. And then, as clarity comes and you realize it's morning, you look up, you see Sigurd's face, and then it kicks in and you can hear this Elvish song.
Anything I recognise again?
Give us a history check.
Okay, let's do it.
Or, no, you don't use performance for that. Knowledge of songs.
Yeah, unless it's a song that I might have known. Yeah. That's history +2, so yeah, 13.
Yeah,
No.
you're half Elvish, so yeah,
Yeah.
you recognize a song. It's an old Verdanian Elvish song, and it's about the Great Migration from the north. Your peoples some of your peoples in times of past left a country far to the north, a country called Lurich, and you can hear those words and some of the place names that you've heard and tales told over the years echo amongst the mountains. But it's being sung in what can only be described as a giant's voice. A voice of the mountains, a voice of the gods.
And it's kind of echoing. Is it difficult to locate where the voice might be coming from?
It is. Between the echoes and the wind, the morning breeze, it is difficult. It could be the top of that mountain.
Okay.
Well, should probably wake the others.
Here's what I'd like to do. Sigurd, wake the others quietly. Get everybody ready to move. Somebody pack my shit up. And I'm gonna quietly move myself away from the camp first of all, so that anybody watching the forest, for example, might not see where I'd emerge from it, or might not associate where I'd emerge from it from anywhere else, and get myself on top of a bit of rock. And if the song is still going, I'm going to join whoever is singing.
Okay. You find yourself a bit of rock.
I've got
It's
my
roughly
loot
the
with
size
me.
of a
Yeah.
couch, and it's sitting strangely nestled into the edge of the woodline. You
Yeah.
climb up on it, noticing the tree that got crushed under it is probably not that. The flesh of the tree is still bright. Zap still runs. This happened recently.
Okay. Definitely in range then. Okay.
You climb up on top of it, and you join in the song. Give us a performance check.
Yeah, and I've got my lute. I can play it along. I'm trying to think. I don't have thaumaturgy to make my voice louder. Yeah. Performance check. Okay. Wish me luck, lads. Okay, so yeah, not loads. 13. Do I spend an inspiration on this? Bardic inspiration?
Good.
Yeah, I might do, you know? I'm going to add an extra d8 to this, Gav. I'm supposed to do it before I roll, but that's an extra... So that brings it up to...
You can do it after the roll, but before knowing the outcome.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. And Gav hasn't told me the outcome, so yeah, let's do that. That's that one spent, so yeah, 7... 13 plus an extra 6 makes
19.
Yeah.
So after only a few seconds of your lute and your voice joining this chorus, you can hear a word or two from this elder song falter, like its singer is listening. Then it catches back up, slightly out of time with you.
I'll carry on. I will keep hitting the rhythm of it, and let them try and catch me up.
While you know in this song that there's 17 more verses to go, at the end of the current Elven songs, they're terrible. You know, they go on forever. At the end of the current verse, you hear this deep chuckle, and then silence.
Okay.
And you think, now that you've set your ears to it, your elven ears, you're fairly confident it's coming from the mountain you were camped at the base of.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is cast Minor Illusion kind of around myself, so that I'm casting a minor illusion of myself where I'm standing, and then I'm personally going to hop down behind this rock as quickly as I can, so that anyone who's only half looking might still see me there for a little while.
Cool. Give us a stealth check at advantage.
Stealth check at advantage. Yep. Cool. Great. I'll just roll both dice. Okay. 17 plus 9.
Oh, that should do it.
Yeah.
You think?
And I'm gonna watch to see what happens.
Silence. Utter silence. No birds, no animals. Just the wind through the trees. And the lads tens of feet away packing the gear.
Yeah. And I will... No, I think the illusion I can't do vision and sound at the same time.
I think for minor it's only the one, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think it can move either. If you create an object... There's nothing that says I can't make one of a person, so that's fine. Yeah, and then it can be my voice. So I will set it to sing another verse, and I'll quietly make the. So I'll vanish the illusion of myself standing on the rock, but keep it singing from the same spot. Keep the illusion singing from the same spot, and then I will quietly make my way back to the camp.
It sings in solo for the next minute of this verse.
Yeah.
as you make your way back to the camp. As you get back to the camp, the last few words out of your illusion are echoing through the hills. The lads all heard all of this.
Yeah.
What are you singing about?
He's always singing, Captain.
Well, I figure if there's if something's watching this mountain path, there's no way we're making our way up. You know, quietly, unseen. So let's set ourselves an invitation, eh?
Invitation for what, boss?
Well, now I'm friends with whoever lives up the top there, and he'll want to meet me, won't he? Maybe find out what squished young Kieran. Where our man Ignatius has gone from.
I mean, if there's a fella out there that's that large, I'd say there's a good chance that he squished young Kieran, but okay.
No, indeed. Forgive me, slip of the tongue, eh, Larry?
Gay.
Very.
Right.
I don't know.
Right. Are we leaving the horses here? Or should we... probably won't be able to ride up the whole way, we don't think, right?
You could, but your instincts tell you that doing it under any sort of duress would be detrimental.
Yeah. We'll be able to move a bit quicker, a bit more nimbly without them. In which case, I think as before, we take a day's worth of food each.
Hi.
Stow the rest, hang it from a tree branch so that the animals can't get to it. Leave the horses here under strict instruction not to go away with nobody and not to get eaten by any bears.
Yeah,
These are military horses, so they know they'll be tried for treason if they do that.
And loss of military property.
Yeah.
Yeah, the horses are ordered. The food is hung. You're ready to travel. It's pre-dawn, and with your bellies rumbling because you had to skip dinner, you spread out and start to creep out of the tree line. Give us perception checks, everyone.
Mm. Well, not one. I'm still asleep.
18.
19 total.
13. No. 10.
You see the scene as you left it yesterday. As you're probably 10. In fact, you remember the size of the rock that crushed the horse and maybe moved 15, 20 feet apart in a line, and you're making your way back up.
Yeah.
You pass the scruffed ground and the sets of hoof prints. And as Liam steps into one of them, he realizes just how large this creature must be.
You've held that, yeah.
You're making your way back up the mountain, further and further. The wind picks up a bit. It gets a little bit cooler. It gets brighter as you step out from the shadows of other mountains around you. And as you crack the lip of the upward slope, you look down onto an indent, cave entrance on a small plateau. The mountain rising behind it. And sitting there, with his legs crossed, and still 3 meters high, from his ass to his head, with the horse held in one hand, chewing on its ass is this blue-skinned giant of a man, dressed in rags, with bones of creatures leather-bound and strapped across itself has some sort of makeshift armor. Bones of creatures you have never seen before. He has a skull perched on one shoulder that must be 10 feet long.
Nice.
Sweet.
On the ground in front of him, splashed in the blood of the horse, is an axe the length of two of you.
Pretty big. Cool.
Also pretty sweet.
Has he reacted to us yet?
He is about to look up.
Okay.
So he has heard you.
He has heard. I think I'd like to give a signal to Larry to hide himself.
Yes, I would like to hide myself.
You other two are wearing plate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's not quite so viable. But I think if Larry can hide himself, maybe take some kind of flank position, that'd be
let's
good.
attempt to.
Larry remembers the old hand signals.
Yeah.
Larry, give us a stealth roll.
All right.
Yes.
Well, it's not 20.
I'll do.
For a total of
30.
Doesn't matter. Oh, holy shit. Okay.
I
So
cease
Larry
to
just
exist.
kind of vanishes. Yeah. His character disappears from your memory. He's doing his thing as you three try to project an air of confidence,
yeah.
gazing upon this creature that must be 20 feet tall. His massive head lifts. You can see knots of a dreaded beard, doused in blood and horsebone. And he looks up. Something about his eyes that aren't as savage and violent as the fairy tales of old would have stated.
As the litany of bones and horse blood might suggest.
Yeah, there's something there that's not quite congruous or whatever the word is. It's
Yeah,
like
sure.
it there's an intelligence in his eyes, or maybe I don't know, but maybe kindness, that this carnage around him is I call it myself, I think that's the word, a paradox of. You do notice as you look around and have more time to see his little campsite, you see two sandals and some human bones.
Okay. Do they look?
He's
How fresh do
fresh.
they look? They look quite fresh.
Shiny and fresh.
Okay.
Eaten yesterday.
Okay.
You probably see a robe. Or bits of a white robe. Stained. And soaked in blood.
I'll call up to him in Elvish
Oh,
and address him as singer. Something like that. The performer.
In Elvish, he will say to you, "Welcome, half-breed." And he will stand up. And you realize how fucking enormous this thing is.
Mm-hmm.
He holds half of a horse in one hand. As he stands, you realize you're approximately up to his knee. Come! He'll drop the horse by his side. He'll kick away his axe to the left, scattering stones that weigh, kilos just flung around. Come sit with me, he says in his gravelly, rumbly voice. He's bare-chested, apart from those straps of bones and armor. His bluish hue to his skin. He is fucking ripped. Grey, dreaded, black locks of beard on a bald head. Piercing blue. Bright, like light blue eyes.
Mm.
And then fur-wrapped legs.
Trousers.
Is it you
Fluffy
who
trousers.
sing? Yeah, fluffy trousers.
Mm-hmm.
Stitched together from probably tens of bison. Is it you who sings, Lute Man?
I enjoyed our duet.
I was singing the songs of my childhood. It is strange I only remembered them after I ate this little creature. And he'll point towards the human bones.
Hmm. But you have known them all along? Buried away in the back of memory. I understand how that can be. A little taste can bring back all kinds of stories.
Yes. Stories and skills. I once ate a little hunter man. And I built this bow. And you'll see behind him he has a bow that's made of a fucking, tree trunk.
Tree.
Yeah. But I'd not remember my tongue. This language is strange. Strange. And then he'll say another word that you don't understand.
Okay.
None of you speak giant, do you?
Mm-mm.
No, sorry.
No.
No.
The tallest race I speak is Elvish.
Yeah. Yeah, we've all gone for classic languages, and that's fine. That's good.
I've gone for the small people, yeah.
And what are you doing on my mountain?
Well, somebody asked us to come and find a friend of theirs. Looks like you already met him. And I'll point to some of the bones.
Oh, yes. Ignish.
Did he
Yes.
tell you his name?
No, I remember his name.
Lucky you. I get the impression he was here to learn something. Do you know if he found out what he was looking for?
He did. It was the little water birds. They swam on the... And he says another word that just... You don't understand.
Ah.
But he came here with his boy and his... And again, another word you don't understand. And as this creature starts to speak more and more, it's as if Elvish is slipping from his mind and he's returning to some sort of prior state.
Huh.
The last word that he uses, can I point to the horse in his hand and try and use that? Is that what you mean?
Si, senor. Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
And you can see his eyes start to dart around. He sits back down, takes another massive bite out of this horse. You can hear the pelvic bone just crunch, and he swallows the thing, chews away on it.
If we could take just the skull, we'd gladly give you another word for horse.
You can see his eyes dart, his head twitches. You can see a bit of a panic come over him. You think whatever intelligence inhabited this thing is about to entirely
Yeah.
exit.
Okay. Break
It's
off,
really
lad.
mysterious.
Move more quickly. Slowly. Just with calm. That's all we need.
Yeah.
And I will bow to the giant and back away.
You'll see one of his hands move towards the hilt of the axe, and you'll see another move to
We're
his
going to
other
cast
side,
calm emotions on him.
and he will grab a handful of gravel. In his eyes, it's gravel. In your eyes, it's fucking trebuchet ammo. Go for calm emotions then, yeah.
Charisma 15. Save.
Does it work on giants?
Let's see why not. It's any creatures.
Did you say creature, yeah?
Suppress strong emotions in a group of people. Each humanoid in 20-foot range. This is you guys as well. Need to make the save.
Is the giant a humanoid?
Oh, it is
Giant?
humanoid, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if a giant counts as humanoid.
We can
I will
find
have to
out.
check that.
I'm
Yeah.
going to leave that to DM decision there, because it's humanoid is a creature type, of which giant isn't, but like certainly they are human shaped.
Huge giant.
Giants
Reasonably
are a
intelligent.
collection of very large humanoid creatures based on giant or legend.
Humanoid.
Giants of legend. And they are a creature type.
Yeah.
I'm going to allow it.
Cool. All of you have to make that save as well.
I'll willfully fail the save. I'm happy to have my emotions calmed at this moment.
Yeah, I'm not asked.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
You can see the white knuckles relax on his weapon. He keeps his hand there, though. He relaxes his arm, letting all the clusters of rocks the size of bags of sugar hit the deck.
Feeling that go off, and you can see that hitting the guy. I think I'm gonna walk over to the pile of bones and try to spot a skull.
Got a minute.
So you can spot a skull from here.
Yeah.
Walking within like 30 feet of this thing is within axe range. Just to put that out.
Yeah.
He has sat back down. So he's obviously not in a great position to swing an axe that size. But just to give you the full information.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've got a minute.
Yeah.
Give us a performance check.
Performance check from my end?
So performance, I don't know, is that the right thing? This is to convey the fact that you are calm and non-threatening?
I think performance is reasonable for that. I mean, that's what I'm wanting to convey.
I mean, you are as well. You've got no choice.
Yes, true.
Exactly. But yeah.
But a 1 would be very bad.
Yeah, right. Oh, 13 plus performance is plus 6, so yeah.
Cool. So you, unarmed, slowly pace forward. You can see his eyes dart between the half-finished horse and you. Are you coming to take his food? You move away from the horse towards the bones, which he doesn't seem to be too interested in.
My hands are broad and open, and I'm moving slowly.
You reach down and pick up the skull, slowly back away.
Let him see that that's all I've taken.
He grabs the horse. He grabs his axe close to him. He moves the axe in a defensive manner in front of him, between you and him. The thing must have a quarter a ton of steel in it. And he allows you to back away.
Great.
You back away all of you back away to the lip. By this stage, Larry has taken up position, I don't know, 90 degrees around the corner to get a side shot on him if necessary.
Yeah, some high
you
ground.
see all this happening, and So, Larry, you can see this guy seems to have dug a cave
Fucking
in
hell.
behind where he's been staying. You probably spot bones of other animals, maybe the what's the term? The fucking pelts of bears or other things just scattered around that he's been snacking on for the last few weeks. You see your friends back away. Is the intention to back over the cliff and get the hell out?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, you back away, back down off the cliff. The storm god's magic fades. The storm magic fades from Quintus's mind. You can hear a snort and a gruff, and then maybe a thump of the axe into the ground, and a chomp on what's left of the horse. And you back away
Fucking hell.
successfully.
Wait, did I just force us to avoid a fight? What's wrong with
Yeah, it
that?
was good. Well, yeah, good move.
Well, I guess giants are real, boys. Jesus, I don't know who that is, but oh, gods, no.
You reckon a swing from this axe would have cleaved a horse in two, never mind your
Yeah.
frames.
Yep. So we've got the skull.
Yeah.
You got a human skull. You got an elven skull.
Yeah.
It has 2 gold teeth in it, and bits of viscera still kicking around in its center.
Do we take something similar for Kieran?
Well, I already grabbed his hand.
You can grab his hand if need be on the way. You know, such clerics have ways of maybe.
At least identifying it.
Yeah.
It is possible. What's a life cleric going to be in this fucking world?
Life cleric.
There will probably.
I mean, what god? Sorry, that's going to make a suggestion from my worldly knowledge.
There will be clerics of life.
Yeah, but what will the
domain?
Yeah,
So to
no.
speak,
The deity,
what
if you
aspect
like.
of nature? Yeah.
So
yeah, that's
the growing bounty, perhaps, or of
yeah, there'll
birth and
be
healing, or
there'll be crops, there'll be healing, there'll be birth, there'll be the cycle of life. It might include some aspects of death or ease of old age. There won't be God's names because it's the concept that we worship, not the personified figure. So there'll be clerics of life. It's just the elemental clerics hold council positions.
Yeah.
So yeah, you back away, pack up camp, and go home.
I mean,
he said the ducks, the little birds swam under something. Is that what he said?
He made some reference to the little bird, the water birds.
The little water birds swam under something.
Flew away. No,
They
I don't
flew
think
away.
it was under.
Okay, I misunderstood.
Flew away what?
Hmm.
Doesn't make a lot of sense.
You get the impression that somehow this creature had consumed Ignatius.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
And
I mean, yeah.
gained certain knowledge. It seemed to last only a short time.
Certainly.
Fascinating.
and start to make your way back. And something that's floating around in your mind, Liam, is that this thing is probably 3 to 4 days away from Verdania.
Yeah.
It's astonishing. Its existence. Its size, its savagery. Sure, you can come up with some theories about how you'd take something this size down, but it's something that was never faced during the wars. It's something that probably has to be dealt with.
Threat. It's a
Its
threat.
proximity is a threat.
I'd say so.
Right, we need to report this back to the General.
We could take the initiative.
Well, that is our trademark, after all.
I mean, we've achieved our objective. But in all likelihood, we're going to get back there and he's going to tell us to come out here and deal with it. So,
Yeah.
Easiest way to deal with that creature is feed it a poisoned horse.
No, that's a good idea.
you got a poison strong enough for a goddamn giant?
I'm sure we could find one.
We don't need to kill it outright with the poison, just make it a little dizzy.
Back in a sec, just have to go to loot.
But what we can't risk is this thing following us.
Oh my, no. That's a good point, Captain.
And I wonder if it might. So what we consider then is we consider a choke point. We consider an ambush spot. And we bring the walls down on it.
Deep valley, yeah. That'd work.
We make our trail a little obvious for a little while.
Yeah.
Bring him into us. Mm.
Your poisoned horse isn't a bad shout. I'm sure one of these poor beauties is loyal enough to the crown for that.
I mean, we could just leave a horse there as bait. That'd attract the sumbitch.
Absolutely. Now it'll gain the memories, so we can't let any of these girls know about it. But yeah, this is what we need to look for and to set up.
All right. Any plans?
Yeah, we're gonna set a trap.
Okay.
What we're considering is a narrow pass, or perhaps a canyon, or a cut, or a gap, into which we can lure this thing. We make our trail fairly obvious for a day or so, maybe less, because I think probably it's seen us. It's not going to forget what it's seen. We need to, it's going to come after us, and so we can make our trail easy to follow for a little bit, and then we can leave a nice, delicious-looking horse in the bottom of a canyon.
Okay, so the south canyons aren't so easy to find. We're going further up north into the mountains, past where you have just left. Will reveal some options.
That is the other option, is we keep going forward and then double back.
The best you can do coming down this direction is a particular stretch of the road where one side of it is quite steep. Then you've got a flat kind of goat's trail that's 3 or 4 feet across, and then another less steep section that goes down towards the lake.
Choke point like that sounds good.
So what you would have is, if that's the trail, you have kind of uphill, deep, dangerous ground, kind of shaly and broken.
Yeah.
And then down here would be slightly less more of the same material. Still, I wouldn't call it dangerous ground, but certainly uneven. And then that'd be down towards the grasslands and the banks of the whatchamacallits,
Mm,
the banks of the actual Sky Mirror
lake.
Lake.
Yeah.
We'd still need
Now,
to gather poisonous herbs of some sort. Unless someone's got actual poisoning kit.
Hell no.
No,
I might do.
I've got the other stuff.
No, I
Does
don't. I
anyone
thought I
have
did.
any? Does anyone have any experience in this area?
Poisoning? Nah. Throat slit,
No,
yeah,
Potion
sure.
making.
All we would
yes.
need is
Does it-
to find some poisonous herbs, kill
anyone have any
the.
I
medicine?
mean, if we can ambush the thing, we can sack out the poison because we just drop rocks at it or something, right?
the rocks that we can drop are maybe not going to hurt this guy.
Yeah.
Whereas he's relatively adept at using rocks to hurt things like us.
So
If
you
we
would
can
need
get a big trundle, yeah.
a solid nature check or a bit of medicine might help to identify herbs that would be poisonous. There are other ways to poison people without using herbs.
We've experienced using, shit and rotten guts to poison things.
Hmm.
It's not super fast acting though.
Yeah, exactly. Even if the herb's not poisonous and sedentary, because you've got medicine, nature, survival.
The other option is you could leave the problem to somebody else.
Yeah.
You report this back, and
We could
they
just
actually
leave them a
send
horse
military
and
units.
double back round.
We could,
I
we
think-
could just take our time to go away from the area and not leave any trail.
Yeah,
We're good at that sort of thing.
if we're heading directly back to Verdun, we're going to lead the thing directly to Verdun. So I think we need to take a slightly longer route back, if nothing else.
Make sure it sees us going that route
No,
as well.
it doesn't see us right now, so we should just fucking leave. It's not.
Hmm.
Let's not let it see us anymore. We want it to forget us.
Yeah.
All right, so give us survival checks, nature checks to kind of hide your trail.
Go ahead, that's survival.
Survival check, yeah?
Okay, 15. 16.
Just take
Well-
the highest party one.
I just leave massive footprints. I roll a one.
You just roll another one, yeah.
I'll check. 14.
Okay, so between you try to remember what you were taught during the war. You dip into the lake, you cross streams, you double back, you canter on harder ground. You do your best.
Bury my poop.
You're confident enough. The fact that this thing is still within the few days ride, especially of the smaller fishing village on Sky Mirror Lake, is concerning. But you avoid the village on your route back. And you make your way back to the ferryman. Takes you across the lake and back into Verdun. And we'll leave it there for the evening.
Sure.
All right. Yeah. Thanks, Kev.
Cheers, bro.